Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is ManTheMaker. Welcome back to Star Traders Frontiers. We are Mo, and this is a retrospective. We've done everything. We've done everything that we've set out to do. On top of that, there's not that much more for us to really accomplish at this point, I think. I mean, we've done most of the vignettes that I'm aware of, that are interesting to me, at least for this playthrough. There's still a smuggler one that we could probably do, but I don't really feel like doing that, honestly. I know it kind of involves running around smuggling quite a bit, but it's just, doesn't really seem quite that worth it for this run. I know that I think there's an unlock attached to it, but nonetheless, we've done it. The quest for carriers is complete, folks. Congratulations. We did pretty well. We had a couple of hard battles early in the game, right? But once we got the carrier, nobody could stand before us. I think, okay, in the first few fights, we did have some people almost die, if not actually die. We may have had a couple of losses. In fact, I do remember losing a high-level diplomat at one point. So we did take some losses. But overall, the fights were relatively easy. I mean, let's just take a look at this bad boy. This beauty, the Harbinger Carrier. And the build that we took here, I mean, I gotta say, I was not expecting to go with the electronics avoidance build, but it just turns out that dodging is just better. I mean, right? We've got this up to 60%. That's maxed. We are. I actually had not even realized this. We are completely maxed out in armor. We might even have more than we need. I'm not even sure. Same thing with shields. Completely maxed out there on what we can actually achieve just with base shield and shields from components. So if we went for a more defensive, this evasion build, but you actually can't become more tankier than this, even if you wanted to. So I guess in the end, this is kind of like the natural progression there. I mean, we do have kind of like the best of basically everything. I feel like these look different to me, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just paying a little bit more attention than I normally do. We also tried a slightly different combat build than I normally do, right? Almost always I've gone just like torpedoes and hang back. We did dabble with getting in a little bit closer. We ended up taking out the other railgun because it just provides such little gunnery. And I was worried that we wouldn't really be able to hit anything with such little gunnery, which is strange to me. I mean, is it because they're easy to hit? Are missiles? No. These have much higher accuracy bonus compared to this. I guess it's probably harder to hit a railgun shot than it is a rocket or a missile battery. I mean, playing Quake 2 back in the day, that was definitely the case. You could at least get the splash damage. Yeah, fully upgrade everything. I mean, again, just having this max electronics. I wish I could remember who told me this. Their name starts with an H. In Discord, suggesting me that I go with the dodgy carrier build, or the dodgy large mass build, at least. And it has worked amazingly. Most guys can't even hit us. And then after maybe 2 or 3 turns, especially if I sent my craft out to go and mess with people, instead of just playing defensively. Those 2x interdictors right off the bat, following it up with like our own defensive, whether that be evasive maneuvers or something else, almost always evasive maneuvers, just makes us damn near impossible to hit. Now, one thing that is curious, at some point they're going to introduce carriers for the AI. And when that happens, we may need to take this thing out once again, because I suspect that'll make things a little bit harder. Definitely make things a little bit harder for us. Some things we could have done differently in this round. I mean, I'm pretty happy with the progression. I do wish that late game I had a stronger crew combat team. I mean, my officers both just died in that last fight. But at the same time, it was like I kind of felt like everyone we had up until the end was vital, right? having the diplomats and the merchants and the spies really allowed us the ability to get the Harbinger and to get the Harbinger to where we wanted it, right? With the right amount of money. I mean, you just need tons and tons and tons and tons of money in order to buy this thing. This thing is expensive. I don't know. I don't think it actually tells you how expensive it is, but if you want to think about what we spent on this thing, 4 million maybe, possibly 4 million. One thing I could do differently, which isn't a bad thing, right? Not something that went wrong for us, is potentially trying out an even closer combat situation here, right? Like as we now stand, we're still pretty long range. Getting it to where, like, you know, we warp right in on people's faces. We spend the first 2 turns launching aircraft and closing the distance, and then just unloading with close range weaponry. Could be interesting. Could be interesting, but I don't think we're not going to do it. We're not going to do it today. And again, when they introduce these carriers, I might take the Harbinger out. I should have renamed this thing a long time ago, but I did not. I might take the carrier back out. We'll have to see. It's definitely something interesting to me to see how we can actually stand up against other carriers, right? Because we just wrecked everyone. Even the Xenos at this point just crumbled before us. That is, of course, except in crew combat. And, you know, late in the game, we did start getting involved in a little bit more than that. A little bit more of that, rather. And I gotta say, I learned a lot about ship combat. I hope we learned a lot about ship combat, right? The electronics meta, for example, being as powerful as it is. But I also learned a lot about crew combat because I didn't care so much in the beginning, right? I wasn't like trying to do it. So I was like, yeah, okay, these guys, whatever, we're going to put them off to the side. And then by the time I got to the point where I was like, okay, we can fit a combat crew. A crew combat crew? Sure. We could fit a crew combat crew inside our ship now. But I could be discerning because I'm not in any rush. And I really learned of the importance. First of all, Pistoliers, I'm a huge fan all of a sudden. Was not in the past. I thought that they were kind of weak. I was wrong. Having that kind of low initiative ability to just debuff primarily, I think, especially in these higher levels, just being able to over and over and over again strip the enemies of their buffs while dealing damage is amazing. Especially when you get them in the light armor, you boost up their dodge. Someone said in the comments recently, you know, evasion fades off late in the game. You really kind of need heavy armor. Maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. I mean, when we got hit, man, did it hurt. Some people just got absolutely wrecked. But they also missed quite a bit. And just being able to strip off terrifying accuracy, especially against the Xeno. I mean, Xeno crew combat I'm still terrified about. And it's likely my next run, or the one after, will involve that somehow. Now, my plan is, my tentative plan, we're going to take a small break. You know, if you're watching this live, we're going to take a little bit of time off from Star Traders. I play the game a lot. I'll definitely be back, don't worry. Especially with the wonderful rate in which they update. It's been 2 updates, I think, released since I recorded the last episode, which is just kind of ridiculous. 2 things I want to do. I think I've already kind of even stated this in the previous episodes. Leading up to this, 2 things I want to do. Get more involved in crew combat again, potentially meaning exploration and or salvaging from an earlier point in the game, as well, and or combined with, or separately, I don't know, doing some kind of achievement run. We've done one. We went after Warrior. Wasn't that hard. Probably going to look after something a little bit more difficult, at least difficult appearing. Something like blockade 50 times in, 2 or 5 years or something, or patrol 50 times in X amount of time, get into a certain amount of combats with Xenos. Oh. Yeah, gonna have to think long and hard about that one. But something along those lines. So do put it down in the comments. You guys have probably given some comments already. In the past few videos, I did request that. Unfortunately, my schedule got a little bit messed up. You have the illusion of choice. But I can say, right? Even if I'm not actually going to be able to read those in the times of this video, I just couldn't do it. Things got messed up. You know, what are you going to do? Life gets in the way. But I will take your suggestions into thought for next time. I always do. So put them down below in the comments. If you're here, thanks for watching the series, folks. I mean, it really, you guys sticking with me. We're in like episode 95, I think. And I'm impressed with your fortitude. I know some of those midpoints right before when we were working towards our carrier, and we were just doing those trade routes. It did drag on a little bit, right? But some of you stuck through, and we're here now. We got the carrier. We've seen the power of these things. My God, it's such a beautiful ship. And yeah, let's one more thing I could probably think about. Here's something that I probably didn't, could have done better, was the distribution of my officers. I had a bit heavy on the old navigator situation there. Definitely did not need to do that. And in fact, it probably would have been better the moment that somebody else, see, the thing is, right, you can fire your starting officers, but they have really good stats. So it's a bit hard to kind of hold on to that. To try and fire the navigator and try and raise somebody else up. Because the navigator, you only need long enough for one of these navigators to get skip off the void. There's also something to be said, and somebody was talking about this in the Discord, I believe. Maybe there's another possibility, and that's getting an early spy. Getting them up to level 5. You don't even need them to be that early, right? You need to be level 8 by the time your captain is level, 11 or 12, I would say. On hard difficulty. Maybe a little bit earlier on impossible. So you can get bolt. Preferably 2 of them. If you can stack 2 bolts, then you could probably get away from most things. Then again, getting shot twice by a Xeno before you run away, if you don't have high armor and high shielding, can result in a few dead crewmen. So, I'm still not entirely sure. It's better just to avoid the combat entirely. But yeah, we could have done things a little bit differently. We definitely did not optimize our officers up here. Definitely did not optimize that. I do very much like the military officer, commander, quartermaster combination there. Interesting for a captain. I don't know. It's just like, it doesn't seem that sexy, but I think it's actually really quite strong. A lot of just really good traits. Often difficult to get commanders and military officers. Maybe a little bit less difficult, but getting a commander is definitely hard. So it's nice to have that up there. This was just kind of a blah, right? I like the quartermaster. We needed the navigator and the pirate. We just didn't have one. So I was like, all right, Eldroth, you're up. This guy right here, pretty solid. I think having somebody like this when you're getting into ship combat is very, very, very much worth it. Because, look at his 28 repair. He just fixes things. And you got to respect that. You really do. He really just kind of puts things together. Having a second one, again, in our situation, just like having the ability to just repair things to such a degree is fantastic. 2 might have been overkill. Our doctor was, just doing doctor things, getting his doctor skill up as high as possible. And then, I don't remember, we fired a diplomat merchant at some point. I do really, really like the combination of diplomat merchant. I think it's quite powerful, almost no matter what you're doing. Because they're both, you're going to engage in those activities no matter what, right? If you're flying around, you're going to engage in activities that diplomats and merchants can give you big benefits for. And they complement each other very, very nicely, giving each other more negotiate. And that's how, more negotiate is more reputation, is more money. I don't remember exactly, but they work out very well together. The rest of the crew, kind of whatever, kind of whatever. The Xeno Hunters are just here exclusively, well, because we were hunting Xenos, I guess. So quite nice. quite handy for that. They give us a fair amount of experience over time as well. Stacking the doctors, I think, was a good choice. Having quite a few doctors can make a big difference. Also, I mean, if I could get more quartermasters, you might need less. You might need less doctor. Really, you really love them for the lifesaver. Lifesaver is super, super good, right? Just gives you a death save. So in ship combat, your guy's about to die. Pluck them from the door of death. Very, very, very fantastic. And I mean, that's about it. We can take a quick look before we end this. I think it's here. Yeah. Oof. Yeah. That was pretty painful. we had a lot of deaths there. We can take a look. 154 new planets, 305 contacts is absurd. 405 hyperwarp jumps. I mean, we did stack that up, right? I think it's always a good idea to stack up contact talents. We owned 2 ships, 67 expeditions. Not bad. Our artifacts, kind of whatever. 3 officers promoted, 91 new crew members, most of which we fired. 26 died. Not bad. 0 mutiny. I've never had a mutiny in a single game ever. So, consider myself fortunate. 3 members quit, always sad. We had 114 positive traits and 0 negative traits. That's insane. That's insane. Is it because of our charisma being so high, or because we trait conditioned away most of the things that we encountered? I don't know. 1,056 enemy crew killed. Wow. Tons of encounters. We've killed quite a large number of ships. 95. 95 victories of the 553 naval battles? That doesn't seem right. Seems like encounters is probably more likely this. 46 victories there. We won 42 of them. We lost 4 of them. Yeah, that's too bad. 47 accepted missions. Most completed. Yeah, whatever. Lots of trades. 1 black market. That was Terra Xeno artifacts, I believe. So some rare trade goods 12 times. 40 salvage expeditions. Not bad. 2 salvage relics. Lots of patrols, a smaller number of blockades. It does make sense. We are the military officer, which I gotta say, starting as a military officer, the perks that they give you, I find quite strong. I find whatever it is that they give you, I don't remember. I can look in a moment. Very, very good. Espionage, yeah, we did engage in quite a bit of that. And then the Xeno. 18 Xeno craft. Victorious over 15 and 3 we ran away from. That is amazing. 0 battles that we have lost. We faced them 4 times and we've defeated them 4 times. That doesn't quite... Well, 1 time was a double and I guess still not counting that. And we lost 1 time. That's incredible, actually. We succeeded 4 times against them. Good for us. The last bit, I did want to kind of take a quick look. Does it tell you? Protector, plus 2 to 4 rep bonus, and a 10% chance. Yeah, I guess it's this. It always seemed like it was more. Only plus 2 to 4 bonus. Okay, I guess it's not as strong as I imagined. I felt like we were just, I don't know, maybe it was like the makeup of my crew also just really boosting up this. I think if you do it a lot, people go in that direction. I'm not entirely sure how that kind of works, right? What your crew gets on, what kind of random traits they get, and what exactly influences that. But anyways, there it is. I've babbled on quite enough, I think. Quite enough, folks. So we are going to end this episode here. We are going to end this series here. Once again, let me know down below what you'd like to see next from Star Traders. We, of course, have lots of other games going on the channel. So do feel free to check that out if you're at all interested. And yeah, we'll be back with Star Traders. I'm leaving the door open. I might maybe not resuscitate this series, but I might bring it back in a different form. I'd start from episode 1, but be like, enemy carriers are in the game. Xeno Carriers are in the game. And we might have to kind of go ahead and see what that means for us. But yeah, let me know down below again what you think. Thanks so much for hanging out. It's been a blast. I had a great time. I love this game. This series was fantastic. Very happy to go into the late game as we have, or I don't know, is this the late game? I feel like we are in the late game. And yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time, my name is ManTheMaker. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day.